And we want to welcome us back to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program on a Friday, August 5th. And I'm Paul Demain. Many of the stories read here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. And here are some of the news stories from the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. A partnership between the Cherokee Nation and the State Department of Tourism and Recreation is allowing the Oklahoma Welcome Center in East Tulsa to remain open. Officials with the tribe and the agency this week marked the opening of the Cherokee Nation Welcome Center at Interstate 44 and 161 East Avenue. Tribal officials say the 4,200 square foot center was in danger of being closed because of the budget cuts. An agreement allows for daily operations to be transferred to the Cherokee Nation, which will continue promoting Oklahoma and Cherokee tourist destinations in the area. The center will house an information desk, tourist destination information, maps, snacks, and a gift shop. Travel and Promotional Director Sandra Pentlick says the agency is grateful to the tribe for the partnership. A federal grand jury has convicted Crow Creek Sioux Tribal Chairman Dwayne Big Eagle Sr. on bribery and conspiracy charges for his role in a scheme that rewarded tribal officials for giving construction companies contracts for a new building at the tribe's school in central South Dakota. The jury found Big Eagle 61 guilty on 2 counts of conspiracy to bribe a tribal official and 1 count of bribery involving an agent of a tribal government. It acquitted him on 1 count of bribery. Big Eagle declined his comment after the verdict, but his attorney, Dana Hanna, said Big Eagle will ask a federal appeals court to overturn the convictions. U.S. District Court Judge Roberto A. Lang said Big Eagle's set Big Eagle's sentencing for October 24th, when he could face up to 20 years in prison. The charges relate to tribal officials' actions in awarding a $3.5 million contract to build a new dorm and kitchen facility at the tribal school after a 2005 fire destroyed the previous building, and in awarding other contracts in 2008 to build housing at the school. Other tribal officials and contractors have already been convicted for their roles in the scheme, which involved contractors giving tribal officials thousands of dollars in bribes in return for receiving the contracts. Big Eagle has been chairman of the tribe for 13 of the past 19 years, according to prosecutors. The tribal council also acts as the school board on the reservation. Big Eagle did not testify at his trial. Tribal officials would pay contractors, and then the contractors would give cash back to those tribal officials. Standing up before dozens of Suquamish tribal members at a general council meeting in March, Heather Purser told them she was a lesbian and asked her people to recognize same-sex marriages at the tribe's Washington State Reservation. Even after 4 years of lobbying tribal members, the 28-year-old didn't know how much support she might have. Then the council put the issue to a voice vote of the people. Everybody voted A. No one said nay, Purser said. August 1st, the Suquamish Tribal Council ratified the people's wishes and recognized gay marriage, making it the only second tribe in the country known to have done so. The new law allows the tribal court to issue a marriage license to 2 unmarried people, regardless of their sex, if they're at least 18 years of age and at least one of them is an enrolled member of that tribe. Members of the Lower Brule Sioux tribe are grieving after a crash that killed 5 people and injured 4 others, many of them tribal members. The victims were in 2 cars that collided head-on at a hilltop crest on a gravel road near Reliance and burst into flames this Tuesday. Tribal Councilman Orville Langdu tells KELO-TV that the alternative road to Lower Brule remains parallel to the paved road that washed out several weeks ago. Lower Brule Fire Department Superintendent James Tubles tells the Argus Leader that for 2 cars to reach the hill crest at the same exact time, the timing had to be perfect. It's not the first tragedy in that area. 2 people passed away in June when they drove vehicles into a washout between Lower Brule and Reliance as well. The head of one of the nation's largest American Indian tribes said that they have scheduled a new election for principal chief for September 24th. The Cherokee Supreme Court ordered a new election after deciding it was next to impossible to determine with any certainty who won a June 25th election between Principal Chief Chad Smith and longtime Councilman Bill John Baker. As Chief, Smith set the date for the new election. That was the date recommended by the Election Committee to best allow our citizens to fully participate in the election, he said. The Commission thought that they needed to give enough time to notify all the citizens of the dates important to the election, including a period of time for voters to request absentee ballots. And everybody awaits the results of that new Cherokee Nation tribal chief election. And we want to tell you that we're back off of the road. Keep in touch with us on some of the productions we've brought back from the Yakama Nation. Shakopee, New Echota in Florida yet that has to be produced. That's coming up soon. And we want to welcome you for joining with us today and come back again soon.